ज्ञाना जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। बर्हापीडं नटवरवपु कर्णयो कर्णिकारम् बिभ्रद्वासा कनककपिशम् वैजयन्तीं च मालाम् रन्ध्रावेण रद्धरसुधया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दै वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणम् प्राविशद्गीतकीर्ति। नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमल मालिने नमः कमल पादा नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्ब्रह्मदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Worshipable Pandits, divine souls. First, let me say Radhe Radhe and Sitaram to everyone. And my pranam, my humblest prostrations to each and every one of you here this evening. It's indeed a great pleasure to be with you this evening and to join with you in glorifying the Lord in different ways and singing His glories and listening to divine philosophy. As always, before we do that, we'll join in bhajan. So we have given some books out, hopefully you can see. Turn to page 80. Bhajan number is 35. Bhajan says, Mama Priyatam Sundar Sham Chavikoti Kam Abhiram. My beloved, my supreme beloved, Priyatam. In Sanskrit, the word Priya means someone very dear to you. Dear. Priyatar means more dear. And Priyatam means one who is most dear, most beloved. Shri Krishna, God, the Supreme Lord, who is my most beloved, most dear to me. He's so beautiful. When it comes to beauty, the most beautiful person in the material world is called Kamdev, the god of love. It's a material being, celestial being. To describe the beauty of God, Shri Krishna, the scriptures tell us he is more beautiful than uncountable Kamdevs. So beautiful he is. Dhyau chavi shamalalam gau gun athoyam. Meditate on the divine form, the most beautiful form of the Lord. Sing his glories. Athoyam. A yam in Sanskrit again means 3 hours. At means 8. So 8, Athoyam means 24 hours. Keep singing the glories and meditating on the Lord. We'll sing this bhajan together. मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम छवि कोटिका अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया छवि कोटिका अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया नहीं चाह स्वर्गादिक धाम नहीं चाह वैकुंठ लला
नहीं चाह स्वर्गादिक धाम नहीं चाह वैकुंठ लला
चाह श्याम प्रेम निष्का चाह सेवा अभिराम
चाह श्याम प्रेम निष्का चाह सेवा अभिराम
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम छवि कोटिका अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम छवि कोटिका अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ
श्री नंद नंदन घनश्याम श्री भानु नंदिनी बाल
श्री नंद नंदन घनश्याम श्री भानु नंदिनी बाल
लीला ललित लला नित करू वृंदावन
लीला ललित लला नित करू
भज को भज श्याम को श्याम को भज श्याम को श्याम दो रूप एक है ना छवि कोटि काम अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम छवि कोटि काम अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया
धनि धनि श्यामा धनि श्याम धनि 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 ब्रजपाल
धनि धनि श्यामा धनि श्याम धनि 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 ब्रजपाल
तीनों है पूरन का रस बरसावत ब्रजधाम त्रिभुवन मोहन है काम कामहु मोहन है श्याम
त्रिभुवन मोहन है काम मोहन है श्याम
श्यामा मोहो सो श्याम जो बस बरसानो
श्यामा मोह श्याम जो बस बरसानो
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम छवि कोटि काम अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम छवि कोटि काम अभिराम ध्याऊ छवि श्याम लला गाऊ गुण आठोया
श्यामा है स्वामिनी श्याम है दास श्याम सुखधाम
श्यामा है स्वामिनी श्याम है दास श्याम सुखधाम
सेवे नित आठोया साथी है सब ब्रजबान
सेवे नित आठोया साथी है सब ब्रजबान
मैं तो बिकी गई बिनुदान जग कहा भल कुलताबा सो कृपा नहीं का।
मेरे रोम रोम में शाम, जग सो कृपाल नहीं का।
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम, छवि कोटि काम अभिराम। गाऊं छवि श्याम लला, गाऊं गुण आठोया।
मम प्रियतम सुंदर श्याम, छवि कोटि काम अभिराम। गावो छवि श्याम लला, गावो गुण आठोया।
ओ राधा 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 राधा
राधा राधा राधा राधा राधा राधा राधा
ओ राधा 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 राधे जय श्री राधे। राधा 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 जय श्री राधे। ओ राधा 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 जय श्री राधे। ओ राधा 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 जय श्री राधे। ओ राधा 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 बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय।
Okay, again. Let's try to pay attention now. Very close attention. Listen carefully. A great saint by the name of Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. The books you have, you see a picture of him in the front. He's written many, many books. One of them is called Radha Govind Geet. That book contains 11,111 verses, couplets. These 11,111 verses contains all the philosophy of all the Vedas, all the Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all the scriptures. I'm going to sing one of those verses tonight and explain on that topic. First, literally, the words, listen carefully. The line says, Sukh, Sukh aur Sham ek, Govind Radhe. Sukh means happiness. Sham is a name for God, Shri Krishna. So God and happiness are two names for one thing. Sukh aur Sham ek, Govind Radhe. Ved raso vai saha aisa bata de. There's a mantra in the Vedas, Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7, which says, Raso vai saha, that God, Shri Krishna, is bliss. He is happiness. We'll sing it first, that line, and then I'll explain a little more details.
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe
सुख और शाम एक सुख और शाम एक गोविंद राधे वेद रसो वैसा ऐसा ऐसा बता दे सुख
और शाम एक गोविंद राधे वेद रसमय ऐसा बता दे
वेद रसो वैसा ऐसा बता दे
वेद
रसो वैसा ऐसा
बता दे
ओ राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
Who is God? What is God? And why we should want to know God? A question. If there is such a thing called God, we call him by different names. Some call him by the name Krishna. Some call him by the name Sham, Ram, Shiv, Durga, Jehovah, Khuda, Allah, many different names. Supreme power. God. What is God and why we should want to know God? There's a beautiful katha, narration in the Vedas. In Sanatan Dharma, what we say Hinduism, the actual word is Sanatan Dharma. The highest authority are the Vedas. The Vedas are not books. They were not created by man or written by man. God himself manifested the Vedas. Just as God is divine, the Vedas are also divine. So it's the highest authority. Man cannot understand Vedas. Anyhow, so the most important section of the Vedas is called Upanishads. There are many Upanishads. In one of the Upanishads, Taittiriya Upanishad, there's this narration in the 3rd chapter. Bhriguravai varuni varunam pitaram upasasara. It begins with this narration in the first verse that there was a rishi. Rishi means very highly evolved soul. There was a rishi by the name of Bhrigu. Before he became a Maharishi, the question came in his mind, who or what is God? That supreme power called God, what is that thing? Whom should I ask this question to? So, Bhrigu was the son of Varun, a person by the name of Varun, who was a Brahmagyani. He had attained knowledge of God. Not Atmagyani, not knowledge of the self. He had attained Brahmagyan, knowledge of God. So Bhrigu thought, since my father is worthy of being Guru, the spiritual master, I should make him my Guru. So Bhrigu went to his father, Adhihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. And he said to his father, Oh Guruji, he made him his Guru, and then he said, please tell me, what is that supreme power which is called God, Bhagavan, Ishwar, Paramatma? Many names, one God. Varun replied to Bhrigu and said, Yato vaimani bhutani jante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanta abhisambhishanti tad vijigyasasva tad brahmeti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 1. He said, Bhrigu, that from which all beings are born, that in which they live or reside, and that into which they merge upon death, that is God. That from which, that in which, and that into which. Do you understand, Bhrigu? Bhrigu was totally confused. So Varun said, okay, sa tapo tapirasa tapas taptva, go and do sadhana, tapasya, austerities. I will help you, but you have to do something. Go and do your own sadhana, spiritual exercise. So Bhrigu then went and did severe tapasya, austerities. And he came to the conclusion, grain, means grain, or food, is the ultimate reality known as God. The answer sounds funny, but this is the research that Bhrigu had done. Annam brahmeti vajanat annad deva kalvimani bhutani jayante annena jatani jivanti annam prayantya abhisambhishanti. From grain alone, food alone, the entire universe comes into being. Food is that by which we are sustained, and food is that into which we merge upon death. Food is God. To make the answer simpler, when we eat food, grain, what happens? That food gets converted into juice. Juice into blood. Blood into flesh. Flesh into muscle. Muscle into bone. Bone into marrow, and marrow into semen, which is ultimately responsible for birth. Then we live by eating food. We are sustained by eating food, and ultimately we become one with the earth that produces the grain. So he went to his father, Tad viga punare varunam pitaram upasasara, and said to him, grain, food is the ultimate reality known as God. But Varun, the guru, said no. No. Okay, so if food is not God, then what is? Tapasa brahma vijigyasasva tapo brahmeti sa tapo tapyat. Go back and do more austerities. Do some more tapasya, austerities. So Bhrigu continued. And this time he came to the conclusion, Prano brahmeti vajanat prana deva kalvimani bhutani jayante pranena jatani jivanti pranam prayantya abhisambhishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 3, the one before chapter 3, verse 2. He said, he came now to the father and said, life. He discovered the life force, pran. Pran means the life force. Is the ultimate reality known as God. We all have to breathe. If you don't breathe, what will happen? Die. So he went to his father again. Tad viga punareva varnam pitaram upasasara, and told him that the life force, pran, is the ultimate reality known as God. But again, Varun said, no, not yet. Okay, then what is? Tapasa brahma vijigyasasva. Go and do more austerities. Do some more sadhana. Bhrigu continued. He went even higher. Mano brahmeti vijanat manaso heva khalvimani bhutani jayante manasa jatani jivanti mana prayantya abhisambhishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 4. This time he discovered the mind. Man means the mind. The mind is the ultimate reality known as God. From the mind alone, the entire universe comes into being. The mind is that by which we are sustained, and the mind is that into which we merge upon death. But when he went to his father and said that, Varun said, no, no, no. No, you're still wrong. 3 times Bhrigu had failed. He didn't give up. The father said, go back, do some more tapasya, more spiritual exercise. And Bhrigu continued. And he went even higher. Vijnanam brahmeti vijanat vijnanat deva kalvimani bhutani jayante vijnanina jatani jivanti vijnanam prayantya bhisambishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 5. The word Vijnan here doesn't mean knowledge. It means the soul. The Vedas are such a book that every word in the Vedas has thousands of meanings. If we take a dictionary and we try to translate, we'll always make the mistake, give a wrong answer. The only one who can tell us what is there are the saints. The Vedas say, Acharya mam purusho hi ved. Don't try to read the Vedas by yourself. Go to a saint, one who has realized God. Let him tell you what is in the Vedas. So he discovered now that the soul is the ultimate reality known as God. Again he went to his father. But again Varun said, no, 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 no. Not yet, beta. Not yet, my son, my shishya, my disciple. You're almost there. Oh, you're getting very warm. But not there yet. Do a little more. So he continued on his tapasya. And this time he discovered Anando Brahmeti Vijanat Anandat Deva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante Anandena Jatani Jivanti Anandam Prayantya Bhisambishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 6. He discovered now the word Anand means bliss. That bliss alone is the ultimate reality known as Brahma, as God. From bliss alone the entire universe comes into being. Bliss is that by which we are sustained, and bliss is that into which we merge upon death. The moment he said this, Varun smiled. Yes, now you understand. So what did Bhrigu discover? Bhrigu discovered that God is bliss, Anand, happiness. Whether we say Anand, happiness, or we say God, these are 2 names for one and the same thing. Look, in the scriptures, God is known by 3 names in the Hindu scriptures, Vedas, etc. 3 names, Sat, Chit, Anand. So he's also called Sachidanand. What is the science behind this Sat, Chit, Anand in this order? And we never hear Anand, Sat, Chit, or Chit, Anand, Sat, or Chit, Sat, Anand. Always in the order of Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat represents supreme existence. Chit represents supreme knowledge, and Anand represents supreme bliss. Sat merges into Chit, so Chit contains existence as well as knowledge, and Chit, Sat and Chit, merges into Anand, so Anand contains all 3 of existence, knowledge, as well as bliss. This is why God is also called Chidanand in the scriptures. Chidanandamaya, Chidanandamaya, Deha तुम्हारी विगत विकार जानी अधिकारी जय राम श्री राम जय
जय राम श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम।
चिदानंदमय देह तुम्हारी विगत विकार जानि अधिकारी. There are many scriptures in Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma. One of them is Tulsikrit Ramayana, the Ramayana written by a saint called Tulsidas. And this is saying that God is Chidanandamay. He is Chidanand. So see, Sat has been left out here because it is understood to be included in Chit. In the same way, Sat and Chit are understood to be included in Anand. This is why the Vedas are saying Anando Brahmeti, that God is Anand. All three are there, Sat, Chit and Anand, but he's been called only Anand. The point here is that whether we say Anand, which means bliss or happiness, or we say God, there are two names for one and the same entity. Simile, you say simile in English, when two words has the same meaning. Some people say that there is bliss in God, or that God is filled with bliss. This is wrong. So what is right? God is bliss, and bliss is God. This is not what I am saying. This is what the Vedas are saying. Raso vai saha rasagvam hevayam labdva nandi bhavati. Remember the verse I was singing? And I said, Sukh or Sham ek, that God and Sukh, happiness, are one. Ved raso vai saha. The Vedas are saying, Raso vai saha. This is where it comes from. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7. Raso vai saha. The Vedas are saying, God is ras, he is bliss. If there was bliss in God, the Vedas would have said, Raso vai tasmin, that there is bliss in him. No, but it's saying, Raso vai saha, he is bliss. Look, the word ocean, when we hear the word ocean, it means an abundance of water, the word ocean. But we say there is water in the ocean. Huh? What are we saying? There is water in the abundance of water. If there is a huge hole somewhere, but there is no water, we don't call it an ocean. So the word ocean means an abundance of water. When we say there is water in the ocean, we are saying there is water in the abundance of water. So to make simple people understand, we say that there was water in the ocean. It's not the fact. The fact, this ocean means an abundance of water. So in the same way, to make simple people understand, we may say that there is bliss in God. But the fact is, God is bliss, and bliss is God. It's another name for him. The Vedas say, Ananda eva dhastat, Ananda uparishtat, Ananda purastat, Ananda paschat, Ananda uttarataha, Anando dakshinataha, Ananda eve dagvam sarvam. Chandogya Upanishad. The Vedas are saying, there was bliss and bliss alone about him, to his east, to his west, to his north, to his south, above him, below him, inside him, outside, all around him. That ocean of bliss is called God. So what have we concluded? That whether we say bliss or we say God, there are two names for one and the same thing. But why should we want to know God? The question comes now. Okay, God is happiness, he is bliss. Why should we want to know him? Because we all want happiness. Only happiness. All our scriptures tells us that God, that individual soul is a fraction of God. Look, The reason why we are suffering in this world, because we do not know who we are. Huh? I know who I am. Supposing I ask somebody, who are you? I am Mary. I am John. Huh? That's your name. I'm not asking what is your name. I'm asking who are you? Oh, okay. I'm a Guyanese. I'm a Trinidadian. I'm American. I'm an Indian. Eh? That's your nationality. I'm not asking which country you belong to. I'm asking who are you? Oh, okay. I'm a Hindu. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Christian, Jain, Buddhist. Huh? That's your religious denomination. I'm not asking which religion you belong to. I'm asking who are you? Oh, okay, okay. I'm a teacher. I'm a doctor. And I'm an engineer. A garbage man. Huh? That's your work. I'm not asking what work you do. I'm asking who are you? Oh, okay, I'm a human being. Huh? By looking at you, I can see you have the body of a human being, but this body belongs to you. And whatever belongs to us cannot be us. Somebody says, we all have houses, we have motor cars, right? Somebody says, this is my house, this is my motor car, okay? And then somebody says one day, I am the house. Huh? You're the house? Take him to the mental asylum. It's become crazy. So we say, I am the body, body belongs to me. This body is a material thing. We say, my body is paining me, my head is hurting me, my finger got cut, my body. When someone dies in the world, what do we say? John left the world at 4 o'clock this morning. Okay. Then why is everybody going to see him? He left the world. Oh, we are going to see his body. So knowledgeable we are now. I'm going to see his body. Do you know who is that person who left that body? No, I don't know. Then you're crazy. What is the definition of the word mad, crazy? A person who does not know who they are. They do not know right from wrong, real from unreal. They do not know who their parents is, where their home is. We say that person is mad, crazy, and he should be put in a mental asylum. So we don't know who we are. So we're mad. Somebody calls you mad, don't feel bad. We don't know who we are. We identify with this material body. And the scriptures tell us. Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Bolo Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Bolo
Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Oh, क्षिति जल पावक गगन समीरा पंच रचित यह अधम शरीरा बोल
Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
बोलो राम
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
क्षिति जल पावक गगन समीरा. The scriptures tell us this body we have is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. It's a material thing. So body belongs to us. So we're not the body. We're the soul, the Atma, Jivatma. Many names. And this soul, according to the scriptures, is a fraction of God, a part of God. Chinmatram Sri Hariransam Suksham Aksharam Avayam Krishnam Diyamitipaho Jivam Gana Gunashayam Ved. The Vedas say the soul is a fraction of God. Ansh. In Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, Mamaivansho jivaloke jivabhutah sanatana. Chapter 15, verse 7, he says, the individual souls are eternal fractions of myself, of God. In the Bible also, it says, now ye are the body of Christ and members in particular. And furthermore, the essence of spiritual truth is that man is a spiritual being similar to his source, God. We're a fraction, a part of God. So, okay. So we're fractions of God. But what does it have to do with wanting happiness or wanting God? The answer is simple. It's a natural law that every part, every fraction has a natural love for the whole and tries to become one with it. All rivers naturally flow to the ocean, being a fraction of the ocean. If you look at the flame of a fire, how does it go? It goes upwards. Why? Because it's a fraction of the sun. Let me give you another example. Let's suppose this is a piece of earth. This is all made from earth anyhow. And I let it go. What is it going to do? It will fall to the earth because it's a fraction of the earth. Okay, so we are fractions of God. Then why are we not united with Him, with our whole? Well, from the example I just gave to you, if I continue to hold this piece of earth, dirt in my hand, this is a clump of dirt, I continue to hold it here, will it fall to the earth? It's not going to fall. But the moment I let it go, it immediately falls to the earth. In the same way, as long as this world, this material world, continues to hold and attract us, as long as we are attracted to the material world, we will never be able to move towards our whole, which is God. If somehow this hold can be broken, if somehow we can become detached from the world, immediately we will start moving towards our whole, which is God. So it's natural. We all naturally want, because we're eternal fractions of God, as all the scriptures are telling us, it means we love and want only God. And because God, as the Vedas are telling us, another name for God is bliss or happiness, that's why we all want only happiness. No one can want pain and suffering as opposed to happiness, even if they were to try to do so for uncountable lifetimes. The moment we get a pain, headache, or some pain in the body, give me a Tylenol, give me an Advil. We don't like pain. It's not our nature. Our nature is happiness. We all are searching for and looking for only happiness, no matter how contradictory and how opposing the actions may seem to be. If I take every one of you in a room and question you individually, asking you what you want, everybody will give a different answer. Somebody says, I want to win the lotto. $10 million, $40 million. Somebody says, I want my son to become a doctor. A girl says, I want to get married to a most handsome boy. A boy says, I want to get married to the most beautiful girl. Somebody says, I want to travel all over the world. I want to see all the countries. Somebody says, I want to become the president of the United States of America. So many different answers. But they are all implying only one thing, that if I get that thing, I will get happiness. Everyone, from an ant that has no knowledge to the authority of knowledge, Saraswati, Brihaspati, all want only one thing, and that is happiness, bliss, anand. We're continuously searching for it. We don't find it. We have not found it because we're looking in the wrong place. You have to go somewhere. From here, you have to go Tampa, right? And I think that's south of here, right? North of here, okay, north of here. But you start going south. You have to go Tampa, but you start going south. Will you ever go there? No. So the thing is that we are going in the wrong direction. We are looking for happiness where it cannot be found, in the material world, and not from now. According to Sanatan Dharma, we, the individual souls, are beginningless. Ever since God have existed, we, the souls, have also existed. We are beginningless. So we have always been looking for happiness. And until we do not find true, lasting happiness, we have to continue to perform actions. Look, let's put it a little more simple. People say they have found happiness in the world. A girl says, the day I got married was the happiest day of my life. I cried and I cried and I cried so much. I didn't even know anything. And after the marriage, where did the happiness go? Somebody says, the day I got my job was the happiest day of my life. I was always dreaming, planning and dreaming of this day, and today my dreams came true. But is this true happiness? No. Every happiness we have experienced from beginningless time till today is not true happiness. Even then, very simple people, very naive people will say, I have found happiness. Not the great big happiness of God, small happiness, but I have found happiness. It obviously means we do not understand the word happiness, what it really means. The Vedas gives us a definition for the word happiness. Yovai bhuma tat sukham bhumaiva sukham Chandogya Upanishad. It says, that which is infinite, beginningless, eternal, immeasurable, is called sukh, or happiness. Once attained, it is possessed forever. We will never become separate from it ever again. We will never experience sorrow ever again. Have we experienced such a thing? Today something makes you happy, a few minutes before, and a few minutes afterwards you're again sad. Today I become the owner of a brand new motor car. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. And tomorrow? Where did the happiness go? If this was happiness, what happened? This was our illusion. What is the illusion? Some other time I'll tell you. For now, understand the true happiness, once attained, it is possessed forever. You will never ever experience sorrow again. The moment you experience true happiness, which is God, you will be in this world, but you will never experience sorrow ever again. You cannot become separate from it. The great saint Tulsidas Ji, in the Ramayana, in this Doha, he says, बारिक जिन सपने हुलाई सोई सुख लवले ब्रह्म सुख ही सज्जन सुमति ते नहीं घन ही खगेश सिया पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम प्रभु. सोई सुख लवलेश, बारेक जिन सपने हुलहि, ते नहीं गण ही खगेश, ब्रह्म सुकई सज्जन सुमति. The great saint Tulsidas says, if we were to taste the tiniest drop, the tiniest particle of true happiness, even once, even in dream, sapna, in dream, then we are sure to forget the bliss of the formless absolute Brahm, that which the Gyan is experienced, then what to speak of the mundane pleasures of this world. If from this it is obvious we have never experienced true happiness, as we are still attracted by the commonness of worldly pleasures. The search of ours for happiness is beginningless, eternal. Why? Because we, the individual souls, are also beginningless. Gya gyau dvavaja vishanisha vaja hyeka bhokti bhogyata yukta anantaschatma vishwarupo hyakarta tayam yada vindate brahma me tat Shvetashvatara Upanishad chapter 1 verse 9. This Ved mantra is saying both God as well as the individual soul are unborn, eternal, beginningless. Never had a beginning, will never have an end. There's a beautiful mantra in Vedas. It says, Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samana briksham parikasva jate Tayuranya pipalam swadat nashnan nanyu abhichakashiti. Shvetashvatara Upanishad chapter 4 verse 6. The exact translation of this Ved mantra is found in Bhagavad Mahapuran. God, Bhagwan Krishna is saying to Uddhav, Suparna vetau sadrishau sakhayau Yadichhayaitau kitanidau cha vrikshe Ekastayo khadati pippalana Manyo niranno pibalena bhuyan. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 11th canto, 11th chapter, 6th verse. Bhagwan, God himself is saying to Uddhav, there was a tree, Briksh, tree. On the tree, there are two birds. Remember, this is a translation of the Ved mantra, right? This is Vedas is saying. There's this tree, on the tree, there are two birds. One bird is Jivatma, individual soul, we people. And one bird is Paramatma, God. One bird is eating the bitter fruits of the tree and suffering, while the other bird looks on quietly, does not disturb. The position of the two birds are like this. One bird has turned its back away from God. This bird, this is us, the individual souls. This bird is God, Bhagavan. These two birds are residing in our heart. You do not have to go anywhere and look for God. Look inside. God is sitting in our heart. Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, Ishwaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe junatisthati brahmayan sarva bhutani rantarudhani mayaya. Chapter 18 verse 61. God sits in the heart of all living beings. Right here. God is not far. He's right there. The tree is the world. And the fruits of the tree are the objects of this world. Because of ignorance, because we have forgotten that we are the soul, the Atma, and identifying with the material body, we have always been looking for happiness in the material objects of the world, and we suffer for that. And God is right here, and He keeps hoping that maybe the soul who is my child will understand that the happiness he's looking for is right here. All he has to do is to make a right about turn, a left about turn somehow. All you have to do is this. You're like this, do this. That's all we have to do. And that comes to the realization that the happiness I'm looking for, I will find only in God. Because He is happiness. Another name for Him is happiness. So this knowledge is very important. First knowledge, who am I? I am the soul, the Atma. I am not the body. I am not a Guyanese. I am not a Trinidadian. I am not an American. I am not a Hindu, Muslim, or Christian. All these titles the body, the soul doesn't have. Body has those titles. I am the soul, the Atma. And because the soul is an eternal fraction of God, we want only God, Shri Krishna. And because He is happiness, that's why we all want only happiness. Until we don't find true lasting happiness, we have to continue performing actions. We cannot remain inactive even for a moment. Nahi kashchit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karmakit. Chapter 3, verse 5, Gita, Bhagwan Krishna says, it's impossible for the individual soul to remain inactive even for a moment. Now, this nature of ours to look for happiness everywhere and in everything, no one can destroy that. Neither God, nor a man, nor a demon, no one. This is our nature. But if we continue to look for happiness in the material world, where it cannot be found, we will never be satisfied. If, however, someone can come, and this is very difficult, from uncountable lifetimes, the decision in the mind that I will find happiness in the world has become very firm. I will find happiness in a new house, a new car, a big bank balance, in a boy, in a girl, etc. That has become very firm. To change that is impossible for the worldly soul. For that, we need to associate with a saint, a true saint, what we call a guru. When we associate for some time with a saint, it's called satsang, that knowledge will come. Knowledge doesn't come from reading book or listening to lectures. In the scriptures it says, Binu satsang viveka na hoi, Ram kripa binu sulabhan soi. Satsang. Sat means saint. Saint means one who has seen God, attained God. Bhagwan Krishna says in Gita, chapter 4, verse 34, Tattvadarshina, one who has seen God. If we happen to find such a person and we associate with him, sang means to associate, to join in the right way. We join our heart with him. Something will happen. We'll get true knowledge. The knowledge that I am the soul. The knowledge that the happiness I'm looking for I'll find only in God, in Krishna. Then we will go in the right direction. Immediately we will change. Why do we get attached to any person or object in this world? Because we think this boy will make me happy. This girl will make me happy. This rum will make me happy. This cigarette will make me happy. How does someone become a chain smoker? When you were young, you see people elder than you or your peers smoking. And you think, I should try it too. So on smoking that first cigarette, you cough and almost choke on it. But you keep smoking until you become a chain smoker. It hooks you. No one becomes an alcoholic overnight. Again, you see people drinking, maybe your own mother, your own father, your peers. I should try this. Or your friends tell you, come, let's go for a drink. We're going to club Friday. You go, you take one drink. Your head spin a little bit. Something. So every Friday you start going to the club. Then every Monday and Friday. Then every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. then every day you have become an alcoholic. So it is this thinking again and again, this constant reflection that I can find happiness in any person or object which makes me attach to that person or object. We call it addiction, all these things. In the same way, if somehow I can convince my mind that happiness can be found only in God, through the help of a saint, of course, then what will happen? I'll become attached to God. Attachment we can't get rid of. If we are attached to the world, that will bring suffering. That same attachment, if we turn it towards God, it will bring us supreme peace, supreme happiness. We need that. To find Krishna, of course, time wouldn't allow me just to say a couple more things. There's a condition. God has a condition for knowing Him. In the Ramayana, Tusidasi tells us. Nirmal man jan, nirmal man jan, so mohi paava, mohi kapat cha chidr न भावा जय राम श्री राम
जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
In the Ramayana, one of the texts, the scriptures of Hinduism, God Himself is saying, Nirmal man jan so mohi pava, mohi kapat chal chidna bhava. Only those who are pure in heart, pure mind, can know me, see me, attain me. I cannot stand, I cannot bear deception, deceit, fraud. The Bible too says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So the aim of any type of spirituality is to make the heart, the mind, pure. Whether we are Hindus, Christians, Muslim, whoever, it doesn't matter. The ultimate aim, to find in the true happiness that we're looking for, we have to make this vessel ready, which is called the heart, the mind. Pure heart, pure mind. And that comes, there are many paths we hear about. We hear about bhakti, we hear about gyan, we hear about yoga. Many, many paths. Karma. Ultimately, one path is most important. And every path requires that path. The path of bhakti, of love. The only way to know God is through love. Not through yoga, not through rituals, not through gyan. This path can take us to a certain point. To go beyond that, we have to add bhakti, love. Every religion, every path teaches us how to love God. We have to learn how to get closer. One thing God cares about, He doesn't care which country you belong to, what's the color of your skin, what religion you belong to, which home you're born in, how much knowledge you have, how much money you have. No, He doesn't care about all of that. One thing He cares, how much you love Him. That's all He cares about. If we look in any religion, most people who have attained God and seen Him, they were illiterate. In Hinduism, 99.99% of people who became saints, who were able to realize God and see Him, they were illiterate. They did not even know A, B, C. They had one thing, faith, love. Without faith, you can't get anywhere in the spiritual path. So love, that's what all God cares about. Premate pragata hoi. There's a beautiful verse, it says, Prabhu Vyapak Sarvat Samana. That God prevails everywhere. You know, people think that God is in the temple, in a church, in a mosque. If we're Hindus, we think he's in a murti, in a statue, etc. So when we go to the place of worship, we tell our children, look, this is God's house. Don't do anything wrong here. And the child takes this to mean that when I leave this church, this temple, I can do all the wrong things I want. And it's going to put it to good use. What is this temple, this church, this masjid? When we say Prabhu Vyapak Sarvat Samana, God pervades everywhere. Everywhere. Everybody says that. God is here, there, and everywhere. We say that. But we think that he is more in the church, in the murti, if we're Hindus, in the statue, etc. No. The next word that comes afterwards is important. It says, Prabhu Vyapak Sarvatra, he pervades everywhere, and Samana, equally. God is 100% in the temple, yes, in the church. He's 100% in the toilet, 100% in the road, 100% in the rum shop, 100% in the prostitute house, everywhere 100%. He's everywhere. And to find him, how are we going to find him? Premate pragat hui mai jana. He says, only through love, prem, only through love can I be revealed. We have to learn how to love him. First, when this knowledge comes, automatically that will happen. The knowledge that I am the soul, Atma, I'm not the body. Number two, that God is happiness. Number three, I want only happiness. I will find it only in God because he is happiness. So thinking about that again and again, just as how we get attached in the world. A boy sees a girl, this girl will make me happy. And they fall in love. It doesn't happen automatically. We think it, oh, I found my soulmate. Achha. Soulmate? A few months afterwards, get out, I want to kill you. Soulmate became deathmate. How many times? We think we have found someone to make us happy. So that decision comes in the mind, this boy, this girl will make me happy, this thing will make me, this kind of motor car. Oh, I have a Corolla. If I get a Mercedes Benz or a Lexus, I'll be happy. So thinking again and again. In the same way, if we can make the decision in the mind that only God, only Krishna, God can make me happy, we'll get attached to him. That's all it takes. That knowledge is very important. How to get that knowledge, how to get closer to him, how to love him. Many more things we have to know, but I think this is enough for today. The rest I'll tell you some other time. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Before handing over to Pandit Ralph, I just want to mention that this philosophy I told you tonight, if you're interested, we have devotees here and they have brought books, CDs, etc. with them. There's a wonderful book, Prem Ras Siddhant, or the Philosophy of Divine Love. The same philosophy I've told you and much more is in this book. It's a book I highly recommend. And there are other things also, many lectures, beautiful, the bhajans you heard, and the kirtan, the chanting. We have CDs, we have many lectures, etc. So you can avail yourself. Don't take up the book yet. We have to do arati. So we can avail ourselves to that. And please help yourself. So before we'd like to do arati, the arati will be in the same books you have. We'll do arati, which means we're waving light before God. Look, I see many Westerners here, and We think that in Hinduism they have so many gods. Which one to worship? The fact is we have only one God. Our Vedas, which is the highest authority, tells us this. Eko Deva Sarva Bhuteshu Gurha Sarva Vyapi Sarva Bhutantaratma Karma Dhyaksha Sarva Lokadivasa Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. Shvetashvatara Upanishad, chapter 6, verse 11. I told you the highest authority are the Vedas. The Vedas are saying, Eko Devaha, only one God. But Anantanama Rupaya, he has uncountable names, uncountable form. We cannot limit God. Water, in English you say water. In Spanish you say agua. In Hindi you say jal. In Urdu you say pani. It is still water. I call it by a different name, it is still water. We call God by a different name. That's all. And we have big fight and we want to kill each other. All because my God have a different name from your God. I'm not same one God. I call him by a different name, that's all. You know, we understand that. You know, it's one God. We just call him by a different name, that's all. We need to understand that. So what we do in Hinduism, one of the things we do, we take a light and we wave it for God. We give respect to him in a high way. That, oh Lord, I offer my love to you in this way. One, light, fire purifies. God wants pure heart. And fire represents purity. I know you want pure. I'm not pure yet. I'm far from that. And you can help me to become pure. I give my highest oblations and respect to you and ask you to help me to love you more and get closer to you. So we offer this light in many meanings. This one simple one. We offer this light to God. And so we have a beautiful picture here of one form of God called Radha Krishna. One God with two forms. Same one God, two forms. And we call it Radha Krishna. This is the highest aspect of God in Hinduism, the highest aspect. The same God also is called Shiv Parvati or Shiv Durga, Ram Sita, same God. And the highest aspect we know that God is Radha Krishna. So we have this beautiful picture here on the altar. In the end we'll do Arti. So in the books you have, the Arti is on page 36 in English. In the end, so you have the book, you can all join with us, and those who would like to come and do Arati, give your respect to God in that way, you can do so. I hand you to Pandit Ralph now.
Guruji, blessed devotees, it is such a beautiful evening that we are here because of you and the members of the Cape Coral Mandali, and also Reverend G and the members of the Center for Spiritual Living, that we are privilegedly blessed that you're here for that spiritual upliftment in our life. I am lost for words because I had this feeling that I always wanted to hear you come back to Southwest Florida to be with us again. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to make a next trip. I am putting it down in my diary with your next trip. Thanks to my brother here. On some other notes, housekeeping, I'm going to ask Reverend G to say a few words. And then we'll have Arti. But as a reminder, the third Friday of each month, this month we skipped the third Friday because we wanted to do tonight's program. The third Friday of each month, we have Kirtan here. Same group of people. We join together and sing in the name and chant in the name of Prabhuji. And we have other aspects of it. It starts at 7 o'clock and finishes at 8:30. When we finish with Arati, we'll pass around a little basket for some love offering. It's optional. It's nothing that you have to do. And that donation goes towards the center. And final, the ladies from the group and the organization have prepared light dinner. It's all prepared and set up outside. I've got to give thanks to Nadira and Vishnu, because the last Friday we were here, we were thinking about getting all the preparations, and while I was packing up, DDG came and said, don't worry about the food. We have everything covered. Sita and everyone had everything. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pass it over to Reverend.
Thank you. We have received a blessing, and I want to thank all of you for persisting through what is our half-finished remodel. We actually will have more than 2 lights on the ceiling. We will have a fan that will move the air in the room. And this is a renewal, and it's a renewal in God, and it's a renewal in the bliss. And so the words that we've heard tonight, the wisdom that we've heard, I say often to students that I have and our members here that all the scriptures say the same thing. We just argue about the name of God. And I just heard that again tonight. So it's a truth. It's a truth that we live with. So we've received a blessing here. We've received a blessing on the renewal of this spiritual center that does believe that all the names of God are the one name, and that there is only the one. So I am grateful to all of you for participating, Swami Ji, for your participation with us and presence, and I'm honored and blessed. Yeah, closing prayer. So in that awareness of the one, whatever name we give it, Krishna, Allah, God, whatever, Lord, it is all the one, it is all the same, it is all in that oneness, that infinite activity that is flowing and moving everywhere, that we are indeed individual expressions of that wholeness, little bits of the whole thing, flowing and moving in that ocean of devotion that is God. And so I know that as we move from this space and we move into the next steps, that there is something that is happening that is wonderful, for it is God expressing in the bliss, in the love, as the bliss. And in this, I am grateful. And I know it is the truth of each and every one here, and we can declare it by saying together, and in our teaching we say, and so it is, or Amen.
Okay, so what we do when we normally do Arati, we stand because we are given glory to God. We give respect to Him. So those who would like to come up, and do the Arati, and those, you can stay right where you are. In your heart, think about God, and you offer in this light as a respect, as a form of glorifying. And you can sing along also. In the book, it's on page 36. लाडली लाल की जय, आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की, आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की, दोन सिर कनक मुकुट झलके, दोन श्रुति कुंडल भल भल, दोन दिग प्रेम सुधा छलके, रसीले बैल रसीले नैन गसीले सै, दोन मैनन मनवारी की बनवारी नथवारी की, आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की, दोन दृग चितवनी परिवारी, दोन लट लट कनी छवि न्यारी, दोन भाव मत कनी अति प्यारी, रसन मुख पान हसन मुस्कान, दशन दम कान, दोन बेसर छवि न्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की, आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की, एक उर पीतांबर पहरे,
एक उर नीलांबर लहरे, दून उर लर मोती न चहरे, कंकणन कनक किंकिणी जनक मोरुन बनक रुन जुन धुनि प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की एक उर पीतांबर पहरे, एक उर नीलांबर लहरे, दून उर लर मोती न चहरे, कंकणन कनक किंकिणी जनक मुकुरुन बनक रुन जुन धुनि प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे, एक सिर चूनर छवि छाजे, दून सिर तिरछे भल भाजे, संग भजबा लाड़ लीला बाहु ललता कृपालु मोहन मृगचारी की बनवारी नटवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नटवारी की।
Devotees, right where we stand, let's all close eyes and clasp hands together. We give glorification, benediction. We prostrate ourselves to the Supreme Lord in whatever form and name we know Him. It's only one God. All He wants from us is love, our love to love Him. Let us try to focus our mind. We ask, there's another Pandit here with us tonight who came with me, Pandit Satyananda Ji. So we ask Pandit Ji to lead us in this closing prayer as we receive the blessings and the bliss of the Lord. We ask Pandit Ji to lead us in closing prayer.
Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shall we bow? Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar Ki Jai. Saket Bihari Shri Raghavendra Sarkar Ki Jai. Vrindavan Bihari Shri Yadavendra Sarkar Ki Jai. Jai 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 Shri Ram. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Raseshwari Radha Rani ki Jai.
Please be seated, everyone. Please be seated.